Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion.
The preseason is almost here, and the entire Chicago Sky roster is ramping up for action. But did you catch the surprising move by the Sky's coach regarding Angel Reese? Word is, she's being assigned a new role that pulls her away from the basket. That's like asking a lion to abandon the jungle. Reese built her reputation dominating in the paint, but now she's being nudged out of her comfort zone. The numbers tell the story. Last season, she shot just 39.1% from within 5 feet, the lowest mark in the league. Now, the plan is to have her taking mid-range jumpers, even though her release remains on the slower side.
And I wonder how her fans are going to feel about that. If she's further away from the basket, that doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of, or as many, I would believe, offensive rebound opportunities for one Angel Reese.
Could this bold shift be the spark that reignites her career, or the start of a downward spiral? This transformation challenges the very foundation of what made Angel Reese a household name. The question now is, can she rise to the occasion and thrive in unfamiliar territory, or will stepping outside her comfort zone lead to a major setback?
She has no skill. She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound you the basketball. Great. Nothing else.
Let's break down the cold, hard truth about Angel Reese's performance near the rim. Last season, she shot just 39.1% from within 5 feet, an alarmingly low number. These are supposed to be the easiest shots in the game, high percentage looks right at the basket, yet she couldn't even crack 40%.
Attempts, and we know from 5 foot in, she was the most inefficient field goal percentage shooter.
When numbers speak louder than reputation, change becomes unavoidable. Angel Reese posted the worst shooting percentage in the entire WNBA last season among players with significant minutes, just 39.1% from within 5 feet. That's a far cry from the league's top post players, who regularly finish those shots at 60 to 70%. AJA Wilson, for example, converted 64% of her paint attempts, often creating space with a refined drop step. Reese's struggles are so glaring that the coaching staff is being forced to rethink her role entirely. The frustration is evident when watching her play. Her body language in the paint speaks volumes. There's visible hesitation. Even with a clear path to the basket, she frequently opts to pass rather than take the shot. It's a telling sign that she's fully aware of her struggles in an area that should be her strength.
And now she knows it to the point that even when she's on the basketball court, she's aware, like, this ain't really my thing. Let me get this hot potato out of my hand and to somebody that knows what they're doing.
The eye test backs up what the stats already make clear. Reese's post footwork is still raw, she lacks a reliable go-to move, and her touch around the rim is inconsistent at best. Take a crucial fourth-quarter possession against the Connecticut Sun as an example. Reese caught the ball deep in the paint with just one defender to beat. But instead of capitalizing, she forced up an awkward hook shot that missed badly, leaving fans in the arena visibly frustrated. Just watch the replay.
Runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl behind her.
With Kennedy Carter no longer on the Chicago Sky roster, Angel Reese's weaknesses are about to be put under a much brighter spotlight. Carter was a proven scoring threat who pulled defenders away from Reese, giving her more room to operate. Now, without that cushion, opponents can lock in on her with tighter defensive schemes. Head coach Tyler Marsh is reworking Reese's role from the ground up, a dramatic move that signals just how serious and persistent her struggles have been. Watch her closely during games, especially after offensive rebounds. She often goes back up multiple times, sometimes 3 or 4, before finally scoring, if at all. These repeated misses don't just waste possessions. They stall momentum and frustrate teammates. In one particularly rough stretch against New York, Reese snagged 3 straight offensive boards and still couldn't convert, drawing visible frustration from those around her.
Carter is no longer on the team, and new head coach Tyler Marsh is busy installing a different vision for Chicago's.
These issues go beyond just technique or coaching decisions. They speak to fundamental basketball skills that most players develop well before turning pro. The best post players in the WNBA have spent years honing their footwork, mastering counters, and learning how to finish through contact. But instead of zeroing in on those core post abilities, the Chicago Sky are taking a completely different and unexpected approach with Angel Reese. In a move that's left basketball analysts stunned, head coach Tyler Marsh is pushing Reese away from the paint and into mid-range territory. Rather than focusing on refining her inside game, the team is shifting her development toward jump shooting. It's a bold gamble, like asking someone who's still struggling with basic math to suddenly tackle advanced calculus.
She's working on being able to shoot off dribble, and when the play call is for a catch and shoot. Yeah, but what does that mean? Because she's... look, we've all seen videos of her practicing. She's got a very, very slow as SERP release out there.
The core issue lies in Angel Reese's shooting mechanics, which present a major roadblock to this transition. Scouts consistently describe her release as extremely slow, painfully, problematically slow. In the WNBA, where defenders close out with blazing speed, a sluggish release is a glaring liability. It gives the defense a built-in advantage, like spotting them a full second in a foot race. Trying to get a shot off under those conditions is an uphill battle, and that's exactly the challenge Reese now faces.
Yeah. Poe wrote that Reese was increasing the use of off-ball cuts and relocating her position to constantly create balance and space in Marsh's offense. Chicago isn't planning on asking Reese to increase her three-point production this season. It says the Chicago Sky want her to take mid-range jumpers. Okay. However, Marsh wants her to add more versatility to her shot selection by hitting mid-range jumpers 10 to 15 feet.
Changing shooting mechanics is like training a sprinter to become a marathon runner. It calls for a total overhaul of muscle memory and physical coordination. It's not just tweaking a technique, it's rebuilding patterns that have been ingrained since childhood. Most pro shooters spend years refining their form, yet Reese is being asked to reinvent hers in just a few months. And all of this is happening while her stats still show she hasn't yet mastered the fundamentals of finishing at the rim.
Chicago Sun-Times, Reese has yet to post up at training camp as she learns the new role for the offense. Oh, this should be very interesting. Quote, for Reese, that means adapting to a modified role that will tap into her full potential as a stretch four.
In recent interviews, Angel Reese has spoken with unwavering confidence about her new role, insisting she can adapt quickly and do whatever the team needs. But anyone who's watched her closely knows there's a clear disconnect between her self-assurance and her actual mechanics. Her form tells a very different story about how ready she is for this shift. The upcoming preseason matchup against the Barcelona national team will be the first true test of this bold experiment. Imagine the moment Reese catches the ball at the elbow, squares up to her defender, and rises for her first professional mid-range jumper. Will the shot even get over the defender's outstretched arm? Every attempt she takes from that range will be under the microscope, scrutinized, analyzed, and used to either support or challenge Coach Marsh's controversial new direction.
Poe wrote about her new role on offense. This doesn't mean Reese will never post up again, but Marsh understands if the Sky want to build an effective offense, they need to start building out space in the half court. I don't hate that.
This is a total reinvention of who Angel Reese is as a basketball player. Most professionals dedicate years to mastering new skills before they become core parts of their game. But Reese is being asked to undergo this transformation almost overnight, all while the entire basketball world is watching.
So I think it's going to be pretty easy. How easily Reese masters the offense will determine how successful the Sky are in 2025. The offense was a sore spot for the rookie, and how former head coach Teresa Weatherspoon let Carter delegate it didn't.
There's also a potentially devastating downside to this shift. It could erase what made Angel Reese famous in the first place. Her double-doubles, which became a hallmark of her game, came from her relentless pursuit of offensive rebounds and putbacks. By moving her further from the basket, she'll have fewer opportunities for those crucial rebounds, which could lead to a drop in the very stats that defined her.
If her offense ratchets up to the next level, the sky could be scary. So, the question is, how is this going to work out?
What happens if this experiment fails? If mid-range shooting proves impossible with her current mechanics, and her post play continues to be inefficient, what's left? The Sky are putting all their chips on a transformation that basketball history suggests is unlikely to succeed in such a short time frame.
I'm not going to lie to you. I actually feel a little bit better about her standing back further away from the basket, shooting jumpers. I do, actually.
But how will this plan actually play out? You know what? There could be a silver lining to this drastic shift. Moving Angel Reese away from the basket might turn out to be the unexpected solution no one saw coming. Think about it. Her inside game has been a struggle. So why keep forcing her to play where she's least effective?
Now that I've seen how bad her inside game is, it's still going to be interesting because her claim to fame is what? Double-doubles. All right? That made her this hot commodity with the...
Right now, Angel Reese presents a strange contradiction. On one hand, she recognizes her limitations, which is why she sometimes passes up open looks under the basket. But on the other hand, she keeps taking those same shots over and over after grabbing offensive rebounds, often missing multiple times before finally scoring. In fact, she'll sometimes attempt the exact same shot 4 times before it goes in. That's just wasting possessions and stalling the team's momentum. Now, think about the ripple effects this position change could have on the rest of the team. Moving Reese away from the basket opens up space in the paint for players like Camila Cardoso, who might convert those inside opportunities at a much higher rate. With Reese not clogging the lane with repeated missed shots, the offense could flow more smoothly and efficiently.
If she's not as close to the basket on offense, which she shouldn't, it should clear out the paint and underneath the basket for Camila to be able to rebound. And we know she can hit layups. We've seen them. We've seen them over and over. I've seen plenty of videos of her hitting plenty of layups. That could be better for the offense. He may also be fully aware that a massive hole in Angel Reese's game is the fact that she will catch a rebound and then proceed to put up 4 shots to make 1.
But here's where it gets really interesting. What happens to those iconic double-doubles that made Angel Reese a star if she's no longer camping out under the basket? That's the million-dollar question. In fact, her rebounding numbers could actually improve if she's better positioned to crash the boards from the perimeter. Plus, there's a key distinction between offensive and defensive rebounds. Reese can still dominate the defensive glass while playing a different role on offense. Can you imagine if Angel fully embraced this new role? Instead of being known as a scoring threat, she could transform into a rebounding powerhouse and lockdown defender. Her relentless energy and motor are perfect for that kind of role. The Sky could build their identity around her defensive presence and hustle, rather than forcing her into a scoring option she's not quite ready to be. Right now, we're witnessing a crucial moment in Angel Reese's basketball journey. The Sky coaching staff is completely reimagining what kind of player she could become in the league. Her career could hinge on how she responds to this challenge. Will she step into a modified role with more mid-range opportunities, or could she follow the Rodman blueprint, becoming a defensive specialist and rebounding juggernaut? The real test begins now, on the court against Barcelona. Ultimately, success in the WNBA is all about adaptation. Which path do you think will define Reese's career, reinventing her shot or mastering the boards? Let us know below.